Hey, it's Hal here. I want to talk to you about a new partnership we have with Yokohama Tires. And at Big Woods Bucks, we don't take our partnerships lightly. We focus on things that we can use and can believe in and trust. And I've been running a set of the Yokohama Geolander MTs for about a month now. And over the years, we've had a lot of trouble in the woods, with gravel roads, shale roads, and flat tires and stuff. And so I tried these tires out on a moose hunt, and they worked fabulous. I had no problems with them, and still testing them. But the thing I like, too, is I made a trip to New York, and they're for a mud tire, they're extremely quiet on the road. Probably the most quiet ones I've had for an aggressive tread tire. And so we're going to keep testing them here, but I think they're going to be the ticket. I've used dozens of different tires over the years, and these look like they're going to be the ticket. So anyways, the tires are made right here in the USA, down in Virginia. All the light tires, light truck and car tires. There's like 51 sizes available. And they also have a Geolander XAT as a new tire that it's a little less aggressive, like more of an all-season radial. So anyways, check out their website, Yokohama Tire, and see if it's something you can use.
This is the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Come explore the big woods and timber in North America with your host, Maine master guide and deer tracking expert Hal Blood. Listen to Hal and co-hosts Lee Libby and Joe Cruzy as they unlock the secrets of big woods whitetails. Each episode will provide valuable insights in the tried and true system Hal has used for the last 40 years to scout, locate, and hunt mature big woods bucks. Listen and laugh as the crew discusses Hal's legendary adventures and learn how to apply a lifetime's worth of lessons from the big woods to your own hunting and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to the Big Woods Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Hal Blood, and with me is co-host Joe Cruzy.
Hello.
And guess who else? Lee Libby's made another appearance.
Hey.
I thought he was come out of retirement or something there.
Well, I've been busy snowmobiling.
I thought you fired him.
Well, I was getting ready to, but yeah.
Lack of
Good
participation.
help is hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still looking.
Don't stop.
I think he'd rather pound nails and do podcasts or
Well,
something.
I think you'd rather pound beers.
I don't drink beer, but
Yeah.
Wow. I meant Tito's.
Tito's, yeah.
I thought you gave up on that.
I
You-
did. I
you're on a
cut
health
back a
kick.
little bit, but it's hard when you walk into a bar and the bartender already knows what you want. You feel rude if you push it back,
I thought you were going to say it's hard when you walk in a bar and it's sitting on the shelf.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, welcome back, Lee.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay.
yeah.
I had to take a little time off, get caught up.
Yeah. Well,
Are you caught up?
I am caught up. Yeah, yes and no. I mean, we're caught up. We lost a couple of lead guys back in December. I think I told you that story. And that really put me behind the 8 ball. So if there's anybody out there that can make log furniture and needs a job, wants to move to Rangeley,
You
give us
know,
a call.
I never did consider the podcast for a help wanted. This is a really good platform. So this winter's over, but going into the next winter, if anyone knows good line cooks
Yeah, good line, Cooks.
that want to come and have a good job working at Parlin, lodging and everything here, your 2 days off, you can go ride and enjoy the great outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and send us an email. We'll get you
Beautiful
set up for
spot.
next
Yeah.
winter.
I heard it was going to be high-paying jobs, too.
Yeah, like twice minimum wage or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
With
good
benefits,
job.
massage therapy twice a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lee's giving the
Foot
massages. I hired him at twice minimum wage, and he said he'd come over and do it.
Yeah, we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Your cons and your bunions.
Lee, then we're going to work together on the snowmobile trails. They're going to be the best trails anywhere in the world.
Oh, yeah. Yep. This will be my last year as a trail master for the Rangeley Club. So,
yeah. And you folks are hearing it first today. He's coming over to the Coburn system, and he's going to work with us over. Oh, you're not?
We'll see. I think it just need a year off. Get caught up on some podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you a chance to come over and coyote hunt with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd be good.
You'd like that.
Yep.
It's an interactive sport.
What I learned is there's only, so many hours in a week, and
Yeah.
I can't work all of them. I try, but I can't.
You know what I learned as I get older? There's
What's
only
that?
so many days in a life.
Yeah. Geez, speaking of that, I got a phone call this morning. I lost a cousin. I got 57 first cousins.
Holy smokes.
And I lost one yesterday at 44 years old. Had a massive heart attack.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I was thinking about going to Canada this weekend riding. And I had changed my mind because I thought work was so important. And then after I found that out, I think I might just jump in a truck after the podcast and go load my sleds up and send a.
Yeah.
You should. Well, I'm definitely going with you in a couple weeks. I'm in for that.
I look forward to that. Yeah, that'll be fun. You'll have a lot of fun. That's a very, very good place to check your technical
Oh, I'm going to be
skills.
rusty. I haven't ridden in a couple years like that, but that's
Really?
all right. It'll come back.
I just
I'm a
came
quick
back
study.
from BC, too. Did I tell you that?
Well,
No, but I heard.
Did you? Yeah. You want to talk about some beautiful country.
Wait, this
That's
is the guy-
beautiful country.
This is the guy that's just sitting here talking about how hard he works and how many days, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Well, I did estimates at night.
Yeah, can't get over here to do a podcast.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Well, it's like I think Joe should stop flying me back and forth again because the roads are so bad.
Yeah, well,
Two
if I
and a
had
half
time to go
hours.
over there, I would. I want to hear about BC, though. I cut you off. I want to hear
Yeah. So British Columbia is beautiful country. And the riding over there, the backcountry riding over there is just phenomenal because there's like 12 feet of snow right now. And down in the lower elevations, it's not a lot. We were just outside of Whistler in Pembroke. And at the lower elevations, there's not a lot of snow. So you wake up in the morning, it's 30, 35 degrees, a little bit of snow. But you drive to 4,000 feet and the whole world changes. And by the time you get to 5,000 and 6,000 feet, there's glaciers and 14 feet of snow. And it's just unbelievable. Those big red cedar trees are, they're 3 and 4 feet in diameter and they're 100+ feet tall. And it's just
The
crazy.
tree wells must be unbelievable around
The
those
tree
things.
wells are scary. They're the size of a pickup truck. And when you're side hilling on you're at 60 degrees side hilling across there and you roll, you got a 40-foot roller below you that you're creating. And then you're looking into a 10 and 12-foot deep tree well. It's like, oh, I don't want to go there.
I bet a lot of people don't know what a tree well is.
Yeah, probably not. It's just so a tree well. Let's see if I can get Webster's. It's the snow doesn't fall under them big trees, so it just creates a big hole. And then, like the tree wells out there are a little different because they don't have any lower branches, so the branches don't hold them up. But like up here, a tree well, if you fall into there could be a 12-foot tall spruce tree, right? And it might look 4 feet tall sticking out, but you step next to it and you go right to the bottom. So
You hear about the kids that got stuck up in the chick chocks. The
I
guys.
was there.
Oh, yeah, you were there. We talked about it last time.
I weren't one of those kids, I can tell you, but I was 40 minutes, I just got shut off. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
All right. I was 40 minutes away from those kids, and we knew right where they were, but it was in a pretty tough spot, and we thought they were going to get rescued, so we didn't bother going in, and then they never got rescued that night. It was actually the next night at 9 o'clock they got helied out, and it had to suck for them. That's pretty tough country and cold, But
I think you might have the headphones from.
I don't think I'm on. Am I on?
Yeah.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Joe just doesn't want to hear what I have to say, but that's
Yeah. So, speaking about losing people, too, I got to go to a funeral Saturday. Matt Vinan's father passed away. I don't know if you knew
yeah.
that, Lee.
Yes,
He'd had
that's-
cancer. He'd been battling for, 3-4 years now. And so, yeah, that's going to be a...
one more reason to get
That
out.
was.
Yeah.
I'd try like crazy to get away from here Saturday, but it's our last day, and I
Yeah.
can't make it down. But he
Yep.
he was He was one of the good ones around
yeah.
here. Yeah.
Well, if
everyone knew Ken, and
yeah,
he was.
Well, the thing, kind of those things hit home to me a little more because, like, he was my age, you know. So
right.
When you get older, it's the people your age when they start going that you get thinking a little bit more about life, you know.
Yeah.
But we had talked about, you listeners out there, it was we'd talked one time about Jake Vine and Jake and Matt that grew up back here in the woods. We talked about that before, but it was his father. So Jake had passed away a couple years ago in a truck wreck, and then that was his father, Ken, that just passed away. So Matt's the lone survivor there in that family. Well, him and his mother, and we're gonna get Matt on one of these days, huh, Joe?
I hope so. He was over to the restaurant last night, and
he's softening up to it. That'll be
He's a storyteller extraordinaire, though. Yeah. He's going to be good once we
should
get him
video when he comes on. We should have a video camera on it because his arms will be going and he'll be.
Well, we got to do that. We keep talking about the YouTube thing, and all of us are so busy doing other stuff.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah. We had friends of mine I know through the lodge there. They listen to the podcast. They said Jim and Linda, they lay on their couch and listen on YouTube. And,
do they?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I didn't thought a lot of people used YouTube, but apparently that's the way a lot of people listen.
Huge,
so
yeah. Speaking of that, we got to promote our YouTube channel, I guess, right? So you got to, what do? You subscribe to the channel? Big Woods Bucks
yes,
channel?
Peepaw. You subscribe to it.
Okay. And then there's something about ringing a bell.
Yeah, it's notification. If you click on the notifications, it'll alert you whenever something new comes out. And we're trying to get more content on there.
We are. We got Timmy Bolduc and Jason Alex, his cameraman's working on that.
I've been trying to get them guys to come over and go riding with me. Maybe we could get that kid to come up to Canada with us.
Which kid's that?
Timmy's cameraman. Why can't I think of his name?
Jason.
Sorry.
Jason Alex, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that would be fun. Because I think people, we talk a lot about deer hunting, but we do a lot more. Like, do you have a video of your coyote hunts?
Timmy's supposed to come up and do that, and he was going to come one day, and then it was like 20 below in the morning. It was going to be 20 below, and that ain't really good good weather for trying to get a camera out and keep your fingers. And we haven't had, for 2 weeks, we had crappy weather. It's just when we started warming up there, when we got that crust, we haven't been able to go. So we were this week looked like it was going to be good, but it turned out it's going to be more. We had a little rain already, and tomorrow we might get a couple inches. But yeah, it hasn't been very good weather. But yeah, we're trying to get that videoed and throw some of that on there. But I think what else would make a good video, and I was thinking about this the other day. I got stir crazy. I did office work all morning there, wrote an article and stuff. And I told Deb, I said, I got to get out of this house, and you sit in there looking out the windows there, and you're like, I got to do something. So I threw my machine in my truck, and that was that day I did. Yeah, threw it in the truck, and I headed out, and I dumped my machine out, and I just wanted to go look at a place I hadn't deer hunted in years. It was one of the places that when I first came north to hunt, it was in that area, and they logged it all, and some of it was clear cuts, and I hadn't really deer hunted down in there for a long, long time. I said, I got to get back around and kind of look, because that's been from the mid 80s, so that's over 30 years, 30, 35 years. So I headed back in there, and there's still the old, what were roads they trucked wood on, them old truck roads through the woods there. They're still there. And in the hardwoods, I could go along, and it was nice. So I found some, back then they was cutting all softwood. They were cutting the softwood, and quite frankly, that's when they were cutting them deer yards and stuff. But so they didn't cut much for hardwood. So those open hardwood ridges, you can run right through the machine, but you can stay on those truck roads. But then they disappear down in that softwood there, and it closes right in, and it's either alders or cedar and spruce all growing. I couldn't get through some of them, but I had a pretty adventurous day. I found right along one of them old trails. I could just about get my machine down it, and I'm poking along just trying to get through, and I looked, and there was a signpost rub right beside the trail. Yeah, I posted that on Facebook, but it was kind of funny. I said, what kind of tree is that? And I look up, and it was about a, 8-foot tall tamarack tree. And behind it, there was like two other little bit smaller ones that you could see when they was rubbing the main one. It wasn't like an old signpost. It looked like it'd been rubbed 3-4 years, I guess. But the ones behind it were shined up too, so that was kind of fun. So I think probably as soon as the snow gets out, it might warrant a little walk in that woods there, you know. Yeah. It's actually a pretty big piece of woods too. It's, really, you can't drive anywhere in there. It's you'd have to walk in because, you can get with your snowmobile a lot of places you can't get any kind of vehicle. So I'm gonna go in there and reminisce here in the spring, see what happens. Yeah,
I'm gonna start doing some exploring next week.
Yep.
Once we get shut down and there's still enough snow in the woods to look around, and
there's enough snow.
Oh yeah, and you know what? You can go anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
We never had enough snow where you could really get stuck here. You know what I mean? Right. You could get, if you got in a wet hole or something, but not like usual. Sometimes you got to be careful. And I go by myself a lot, and Deb gets kind of wigged out about it when I strike off on my own for the day or something. But
yeah, but you got your Garmin, right?
Yeah, I got my InReach. I always throw that in my pack when I'm by myself, But it's more about getting stuck, I'd hate to get stuck back somewhere and have to send Joe a message. Come get me, Joe.
I know. That'd be fun for Joe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it'd be fun because I'd call you laughing and say, Hal wants me to come help him. And I'm not going.
Yeah.
But I'll be there.
Yeah, no, you can't. You really couldn't get stuck anywhere. You could creep around the woods and back up, turn around and go, and it's really pretty nice. And also, I always, when the snow and the ground's covered, you really sometimes you don't know how much snow's there. And I've been kind of doing it. Anytime I go out, poke around different places, I stick my hand axe down in the snow to see how deep it is. And I haven't been anywhere other than like right out maybe in an open cut with the raspberries and stuff for holding it up. But I haven't been anywhere where it went over the head of my axe.
Yeah.
The other day back in there, I measured it in one place. I figured it was about 16 inches, and then I measured another place right out in the open, like where it's in one of them old roads, but it was all open. Stuck it down there and bottomed out below the head, and I pulled it out, and I'd say it was just about 2 feet on the level, which is, for us up here, that's not much snow,
Good for the deer and moose.
Yeah,
it's a good year for them. Yep. And I worried that it was going to come late, and, sometimes it lingers on, but it's not going to linger on.
2016, remember?
Yep.
Yeah. We're getting some, this is a lot what we've been having is kind of like April weather, early April where you get some 40-degree days, and, we hit 50 there a couple of days. We had 50.
Monday was it Monday? No, a week ago Monday.
Yeah, 2 days.
Beautiful.
50 degrees we had, and then it cooled off some, but then this Monday and was it Sunday and Monday?
This Monday was good.
Sunday and Monday, I think, was like 45 here. And it's settling, it settles it down. But, yeah, it's good for the deer now. When it freezes at night, they walk right on top of the crust. It's settled enough now to where they can walk on it. So it's pretty good.
I had guessed that it was probably 2 weeks ago that saw a bull with both antlers still.
No way.
No kidding?
Yep.
Huh.
I know right where it was, too. They said it was a good one. They said
where was that, Joe?
Yeah, you know where. Yeah, right with that place we were at that time back then.
Where we ate the sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. It's shed season. I love shed season.
Yeah. That's unusual for a big one to have them now. I've seen it a couple times in the past, but it tells you they're in good shape. Well, that day I was talking about the other day when I went, I saw 3 moose, and one was a cow and a calf, and they were beautiful. The hair was all beautiful on them, and they looked good, and they were walking down one of them old closed-in roads, feeding on the fur on the edges. And I watched. They kind of trotted up ahead of me and stopped, and because the moose legs are long anyways, but they didn't look like they were much above their ankles in the snow, Yeah. They definitely weren't to their knees, And then I saw another one. I'm sure it was a bull because it was by itself, and it was big. I could see it kind of sneaking up through the woods, and I never could get close enough to get a good look, but it was big and real dark black, and so his coat was beautiful too. And I never saw any tick blood in the snow anywhere. And I went through places there was lots of beds and stuff, along the road.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's a good sign anyway.
Yeah, and even if they do carry the ticks now, being such an easy winter, it just they can survive it. They'll get rid of them here in the spring, and
they're more worried about the corona.
Yeah.
The coronavirus.
The corona national pandemic as of yesterday, right?
Well, we don't have a case in Maine yet, though.
No.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I've gone back and forth on this whole thing, and I'm kind of in the camp now that it's pretty serious.
Yeah, it's serious.
It's serious. I know a lot of people are kind of taking it lightly and comparing flu numbers and all that, but I've listened and watched a few things on it where, basically the argument is, that it's just going to overwhelm our healthcare system is the problem. And so they're trying to flatten out. They're trying to just make it where it's more of even. It's going to happen, but they're trying to drag it out as long as they can.
Well, what they did say was it's affecting old people the most. It hardly has any effect on young people, even babies. They posted one there. It's like a 7-month-old baby that had it and recovered fully.
Yeah, age. They said under 19 seems to be the magic number, where you can have it but you won't get sick from it.
Yeah, and then 80 with health issues. Well, if you're 80, you're on borrowed time anyways, really, the way I look at it. Yeah, you are, really. You think about it,
I feel timed out at 53 some days.
Yeah, you look timed out.
Yeah, when you get... I always figured if I make it to 80, I beat the odds anyways. You know what I mean? And usually when you're 80 nowadays, you're only alive because you got enough medication to keep you there.
Right.
I mean, for most people, no, there is healthy people when they get older, but that's a reality.
Hal Blood with the optimistic points of the day.
I think about it all
if you're 80,
the time.
you might as well just put a gun to your head.
Yeah.
It's over.
Hey, when shit stops working right, check me out.
I'm not going to live in a hospital, or I ain't going to live on bedridden on medication. That ain't.
No, we won't let you. I'll put you out of your misery. Don't.
Hal's gonna catch it cold, and Lee and I are gonna be choking him out. Don't fight it, Hal. Just give up now. Yeah. But
you won't choke me out till you find out all my hot spots. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna make you tell us that.
We'll waterboard you first. Yeah.
Drip. Oh my God. So yeah, it is. It's But what happens with that when they say that it's the elderly? All the young people are out. Well, I don't care then. Well, they're the ones passing it on to them, so they spread it. So you got to, the people that have that mindset got to think about someone besides themselves that maybe, and who knows? I mean, there's so much stuff out there, but it kind of, Trump went from sending memes out about it like, oh, the flu has this many people to last night shut down the European travel coming in.
The whole point is they're just trying to containment will be the key, really. You know what I mean? If you can contain it in certain areas the best you can, it can't spread as much, Yeah. But it isn't, to me, it's still nothing to panic about.
No panic.
I know, but it is it's going to affect the economy. It already has. I didn't see in 2 hours and 15 minutes riding over here this morning, I didn't see 15 vehicles.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I know a lot of people are working from home. People just aren't traveling. I think, and not to be mean, but we're kind of lucky that our season's wrapping up because a lot less people are going to be coming up over that hill to snowmobile, and we won't see another big influx until fishing season, and then it really won't be bad until the kids get out of school.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of months to.
It'll be over by then. These things don't
so.
Usually last that long.
No, I think
you're right. The
problem
with it is there's no freaking vaccine. If there was a vaccine or something, it would be, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But
yeah, but the other ones that came along, SARS and bird flu, all these things that come along, there's never a vaccine until afterwards.
Right.
Now they can vaccinate you against it, but it's That's nature's way.
I thought the same thing. I mean, the timing in our business couldn't be better.
For us up here, right?
We're in an isolated area. We're in the woods. We don't,
I know I got a text message from somebody, actually, a friend of mine said that cruises are down. They're reimbursing. If you've already bought a $600 ticket for a cruise, they'll reimburse you $400 if you still go. So you can go on a cruise for $200 and something bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The airlines are the same way, I guess. I was listening this morning there. I think you can fly from Chicago to Miami for like $37 or something.
Well, it might be. So I just bought tickets I got to go to, Albuquerque. I got to go to New Mexico for a wedding in May. And we bought $2,100 worth of tickets for 3 of us. And our insurance is $1,500. And if it keeps going, we'll be able to pull our insurance, right? Get the $1,500 back and buy tickets for less.
Well, I was going to book last week or the week before for the Alaska trip, and my buddy and I looked at it and said, well, we're going to wait now. And I've been checking. It's been going down. I can get out there for about $350 now.
Oh, wow. Vancouver. I flew to Seattle, Washington round trip, $225.
Wow.
No kidding.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Wow. And where'd you go?
Seattle.
You were in Seattle 2 weeks ago?
Oh, I'm sick. Yeah, I have it. You want it? You want to make out, Joe?
You're lying, right? I thought you were serious. You went to Seattle. Did you go to Seattle?
Yeah, I landed in Seattle. Then I drove to Vancouver. I drove to Whistler, Pembroke, and then
I wouldn't have you over here today if I knew you were in Seattle.
It's all right. You'll be all right.
I'm not going to kiss him goodbye today, you?
I wouldn't have shaken his hand. Shook his hand. Shake him. Shook.
I did have an awful scratchy coming over here this morning.
What are you doing? You were in Seattle's the worst place in the country.
Oh, you ain't 80 and crippled yet.
That's only in the nursing home.
Yeah, you're good. Besides, it's only, 4 days they figure, right? In 4 days you start to show symptoms.
14.
14?
Yeah.
When did I get back? Yeah, I've been back long enough. You're good.
If Maine gets cases, it's because of Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, then I'll be famous. I knew I'd make the 6 o'clock news one way or the other.
Oh, shoot.
Really, Seattle? Here he is talking about how great it is up here because we're isolated, and he just came back from the cesspool.
I snuck through. There was only 1 or 2 cases there when I come through, so.
I snuck through, he said.
Yeah.
You understand how viruses work, right?
No.
Obviously not.
No. Herpes simplex 10 or something like that. Yeah. We know how that works. Oh, shit.
Well, most people don't get simplex 10, but apparently.
Oh, yeah. Eddie Murphy got it.
Yeah, that was a funny one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this question we can answer there, but I can't. My Outlook won't come up. Can you get that up? We got to answer a couple questions for people, Lee. All right.
Uh-oh.
We had
give them the wrong answer?
They'll never know. Hey, folks. Hal here. Hey, I want to talk about the biggest challenge people have in the woods, especially the big woods trying to hunt, is navigation. It's the number one, and it's the key to be able to hunt successfully in the big woods. And a compass, of course, you got to have a compass, but maps to go along with your compass is really going to be a key. You know, they're going to show you a lot of things like your terrain features and all that, and also the old trails, logging roads, etc. And I think the way to get these is with Onyx. They've got a great mapping software, and you can download it into your phone as an app, or you can get an SD chip to put into your GPS. They fit most any modern GPS, and that'll cover. You can get them. You can get a chip for any state, or you can when you download the app, what you can do is download, topographical, but also satellite imagery. And that's the one I use the most, because the satellite imagery tells me I can see what kind of trees, if it's softwood trees, hardwood trees, and you can also see logging, different types of cuts. It might be a clear cut or whatever. Very, very helpful for hunting, whether it's deer, moose, or anything you're hunting. But what I like about it is when you're hunting in remote areas, you don't have cell service. So you're basically offline. But if you download ahead of time a certain area, the area you're going to hunt, download it into your phone, and you can bring it up, and it'll show you right where you are, and you can kind of keep track of your positions and all of that. Anyways, excited to tell you about a partnership we formed with OnX. So go to onx.com, and we get you a 20% discount. You punch in the promo code BWB, and you're going to get 20% off on your OnX. All right, get down there and get those apps downloaded and get your chips for your GPS and get ready to hunt. Hey, everyone, Hal here. Just wanted to take a minute to talk about the Woodman Arms muzzleloader. We got them all set on the website to build your own and or buy your Big Woods Bucks model, either one you want to do. But anyways, we've tested it a lot, and I can honestly say it's the most accurate muzzleloader on the market, best to carry in the Big Woods or anywhere else at 5.5 pounds. You can't go wrong with it. So get on there and check it out. So Chris had sent this one to us. Somebody had inquired through, I don't know, must have got through to him, but it was for us to I said, we'll do it on a podcast. And I think that was just last week that came in anyways.
What's that? The gentleman asked, do you ever smell a buck when you're tracking them? That one?
When did that come in? Was that the one that came from Chris?
Yep.
We didn't answer that before?
No.
Oh, okay. You ever smell one, Lee?
Well, I have smelt a buck.
You have?
While I was in the woods tracking a buck. But I don't know if it was him or... But, yeah, I think you can get pretty close to him to smell him. The wind's got to be just right. And I think you got to know what you're smelling for. You know what I mean? Because if you smelt enough of them while you're gutting them out or whatever, been close enough, then that's a very recognizable smell.
Yeah.
But
I don't have a good sense of smell. I've never smelt one. I can't even smell one like gutting it out, really.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I smell moose more than I smell deer.
Yeah, I can.
Really?
Yeah. Moose. I will smell a moose. I can't smell them until I get up on them, but they're a little more rank from wallering and stuff. But I know.
guess I have a pretty good sense of smell then.
Yeah, my smell's not great. All my senses are gone. I'm a wreck. Why don't you guys choke me out? Finish me off.
Yeah.
You just heard it here.
Yeah.
Joe has no common sense.
Yeah.
I know.
That's the only thing I do have. That's my only sense that works.
I know Lee Shands and Mikey Stevens. They always smell moose and deer both. Yeah. They've both said they smell a buck in the woods and stuff. But so I guess the answer really would be you could, but it depends how good your sense of smell is.
I smell them. It's that deer dander smell. You guys ever get that scent? That deer dander? You open that up and smell it. It's like you're gutting a deer out.
Really?
You know what I mean? Oh, it smells like spot on. Deer dander, yeah.
Do you have to buy that?
No. You could cut some
do they make shampoo
glands off a deer, but Team Fitzgerald, I think, was the first one, that father and son team. They've been doing shows forever out of the Midwest, but they started selling that stuff a long time ago, and now there's some more people that sell it, but it's good stuff. I mean, when you put it to your nose and smell it, of all the scents out there, it's like putting your nose up to a deer hide and smelling it.
Well, what do you use it for?
I don't know. I mean,
Just
I guess people use it for cover
scent.
scent.
Oh,
yeah, it's a cover scent.
Yeah,
maybe stops them for a second or something. But I use it like deodorant.
I use cedar or fir or spruce for cover scent. Good enough.
Hey, what's the date? The 11th, 12th, something like that.
12th
right?
today.
12, right. So when's the Augusta show? Because this will be coming out next week, right?
Yep. The Augusta show is the last weekend of March, right here coming up. So it's a couple weeks away.
We're going to be in Canada, aren't we?
Oh, no, you're not going to be then.
No,
you're going to be at the Augusta show.
Oh, I don't know.
What's it? Hang on. What dates are we in Canada?
25th 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that.
No, it's later than that. So 29, 30, and 31.
Well, 29th, 28th is a Saturday.
It's that next weekend then.
No. 28th is what?
A Saturday.
That's it then. 27, 8, 9.
I guess Joe's not going. Sorry, buddy. I really wanted to see you too.
So,
well, let's go this weekend then.
Yeah, anybody around Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, close enough to get the Augusta show, we'll be down there doing
Are you
seminars.
doing seminars?
Yeah,
Yep.
I am, and some of the other guys are. I think Shanzy and Joel does a moose one. I'm going to do my tracking one, and I got one. I'm going to do a still hunting one. A couple of the other guys. I think Mark Shireen's got his mental game one going on, and we're going to do a symposium with all you guys, answering questions and stuff on for the audience.
Can we go back to the snowmobiling for a minute? So
wait a minute now. No.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, Lee.
Never mind.
Dad, why does he get to go on all the snowmobiling trips? I can't go. It's not fair.
Nobody wants to see me at them shows anyway.
You're right.
They don't even
right.
They don't even let me
Yeah,
talk.
Sure.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's at the Augusta Civic Center. Easy enough to find. You can see it from the highway.
27th, 28th, 29th.
Yeah, last weekend in March. That's the date it always is anyways.
Yeah.
And then the next weekend, April 4th, the weekend April 4th, Timmy and Jeff are doing some seminars at the Trinity Baptist function in, is that Concord, New Hampshire? Joe's looking it up here.
It's Trinity Baptist Church Sportsman event on April 4th.
Concord,
Timmy
New
and
Hampshire.
Jeff will be speaking there, have a booth. So head on over there and
yeah,
talk to them.
Check it out. They got some cool T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jeff and Timmy designed up some new T-shirts. Matter of fact, they got some for the team members too. That says team member on. But anyway,
yes,
we sold. Then
wanna be a team.
this is a firstly. We sold out of T-shirts, and they had 2 boxes full. And at the Vermont show, we sold out of them. You had to get more.
Really?
Yeah,
They're
cool design.
So that brings up another thing. Like, what's the gun situation right now?
You had to ask.
yeah, because inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah,
I mean,
talking shop.
All right, so
I
the
haven't been around.
The first ones are the way they wanted to do it. Remington was they sent 30. Then they're going to send the 30, the next 30, the first 30s in, and most of them are picked up. And they didn't come in 1 through 30. It was more random numbers, but
Well, that's dumb.
yeah, I've got number 4, and I'm still waiting.
yeah, it was funny. Mine and Shanzy had 2, I had 1, and they come in. And the next number was 12, and then I think the next number was 40 something, then up in the 70s.
Oh, I was going to say they're probably doing them. They did all the 1s and 2s and all the
no, it's all random. It's just because they were working on all of them at once, and then some of them. What happened was, near as I can tell by talking to the guy that's in charge of it, there is so if they're working on one of the receivers, the engraving and stuff, and they mar the receiver, they've got to take a whole new receiver and then number it, whatever the number was, and start over with it again. So that gets kicked out, and so that's going to be longer to get done. You see what I mean? So
What are they going to do with the marred ones?
and then if they do a checkering job and well, that wouldn't matter because unless they mire it up like after the fact, after the wood's on. So that's all I know about that. But the numbers are coming random. The first 30 are in. Any day now, the next 30, and then the rest of the 40 will come in after that. And they all should be. I mean, it's kind of dragging out here, but they should have all been by now, but they're not. But we don't have no control over it. But
I know one thing.
Are we paying them for it?
not until we get them.
Oh.
So they won't take the money up front. So anyways, we pay for 30, they send 30. We pay for the 30, they send a 30. But it's on their end. But they're coming, and Kittery Trading Post is doing the paperwork for us, which was nice, to either if people want them shipped or go down and pick it up. But it's going to be a pretty smooth operation to get your gun if you've got one ordered. And that's it. But they're beautiful. They're really nice. These are the other ones we did were with all the gold and stuff on it. Most of the guys didn't want to put a ding in them or something, but
Oh, no, I use mine for a walking stick.
yeah, I know you use yours.
Crossing streams, right?
Yeah.
But these here, when you look at it, I'm going to hunt with that, because it's fancier than a normal gun because it's got that nice floor-to-floor checkering like the old 760s. It's not like a 7600 checkering. It's the old 760, but it's instead of being pressed like they used to do it, it's that cut checkering,
I know there's a lot of demand for the next round. Everyone wants to know about the next caliber. And
yeah. It's going to be the next caliber will be 308, and but there may be one little hang up to that hitch. We just found out that because they don't make all the parts at the factory, so there's different machine shops that they source parts to, and the bolt is actually made by I don't know who, whatever the company is that makes the bolts.
they're out of Wuhan, China, I think.
Their factory burnt down.
Oh.
And they don't know if it ruined the tooling, any of the toolings, because it isn't just that Remington bolt. I mean, I'm sure they machine parts for lots of stuff, but I haven't heard yet. They were waiting to see once they dig through the rubble if they've lost that machinery. If that machinery's ruined, the guy told us there won't be any 7600s made this year because they got to go and make new tooling and machines to do them,
That stinks.
Nope, that drives up the value of the ones we got.
Yeah.
Look at you.
He finds the positive and the negative.
Oh, he finds the money and everything.
So I know when we talked about it last time, we talked about a couple different calibers. One of them being 308, the other one 7mm08. And I'm a big fan of the 7mm08. But it seems like the consensus is for everyone out there that's commenting that everyone wants the 308.
Yeah. So that's next. I kind of got it in order. I talked to the guy, and we can get made pretty much any of the calibers that they've made them in before, but you couldn't get like oddball calibers. People ask for, why don't they do a 358 or why don't they do some obscure caliber? Well, they're not going to do that because they never did it and they don't have the tooling for it. So, but I think after that, one of the other ones that's in line going down, like if we do one per year, which is more than enough, would be a 7mm 08 youth model.
Nice, yeah.
We'll have a short stock. The wood stock will just be shortened an inch, and it'll be a youth model 7mm 08.
That would be a good little niche there.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of
tracking gun for the kids and for smaller, not just kids, but like
even some of the
smaller
guys
adults
that are short and stocky, they like it cut back.
Yeah, I like it. That
Joel, that was not a shot at you.
right. I like the shorter stock guns.
Yeah, and then and we'll do a 35 rem, probably a 270, stuff like that. I haven't got beyond that, but those are in the pipeline down the road.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going down and getting it whenever I get that phone call. I saw that you were down there you and Lee went down there, and I was like, son of a gun. I went down there and didn't even let me know. I figured it had to be there, it was right.
Rick Labby had number 98 and his is in.
Yeah. Rick's got his. Yeah. He's probably going to try to use it to club a deer or something.
Yeah.
All right, next
Take
question.
that, Rick.
What's the story with the wool?
Oh, okay. Good question, Lee. So, finally, they're making things now. We're going to have clothing for this Augusta show. So, and Chris put in a big order for clothing, so we'll have it on hand, too. So, like, if somebody orders something pretty much now or within next couple weeks, he may have it on hand to send it right out and just keep ordering it. So, yeah, that's all straightened out, I guess. And we actually just got in 50 of the green and black check packs.
Nice.
And he's got 50 more on order, but we'll have 50. But he took pre-orders on those, and I think he told me he had to send out, I think, about 40 of them. I think he had 40 ordered, but we're getting 50 more. I think he said before the show, so we'll have packs. So the wool stuff's coming good. So, but I still tell people don't wait till September to order it and I mean, I'm sure you'd get it, but if you know you want it for next fall, don't, just get it ordered up and get it,
Right. Good idea. So that problem solved.
That problem solved.
Good deal.
So you ain't been around for so long, Lee. You got all these questions. You haven't
like
been
the
able to
new
talk.
kid on the block.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yep. So my salary negotiations, when do those take place?
We did that at the last podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed it.
Yeah. Actually, we were going to talk about it on our snowmobiling trip, but now
Okay.
I'll be with Dad at the Sportsman Show.
Well, Lee will be too. I think he's.
No, Lee's
postponing
not
the
going to
trip.
be there. Lee's got a house rented, and Lee doesn't care about Big Woods bucks. All he cares about is Lee.
I care, but
He's off to Seattle.
How
It's
would you
not
do
like
that?
the
Why
real
would you
season.
book something during the main sportsman show?
well, I have to go when they call me. It's like
When who calls you?
it's like pooping,
You gotta go, you gotta go.
Oh, look at him being
You gotta
family
go.
friendly. So
So
next weekend?
yeah, probably do something.
All right. On the
I'm
deer hunting
I'm
again.
flexible on the weekends.
I'll save you guys a bunch of money, and I'll just take you on a tour around here.
It's not the same. I had this conversation this morning. It's not the same.
I had a friend went up to the Chick Chalks. They said it was so destroyed and beat up from the traffic. They went down to Mount Valin instead,
Yeah, it's a
and
good
they had a
spot for
great
'em.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mount Verlain's good, but that Chick Chalk area, and I hate to say this because Adventure Chick Chalks, my friend Jonathan Lefebvre and Jesse McLeod there, in 2016 was the first time I went there. I had such a great time. I went right back the following weekend and spent my birthday there, and I spend my birthday there every year now. And I promote the crap out of them guys. And I called them last night and said, hey, I think I'm going to sneak up this weekend. And Jesse's like, sorry, buddy, we don't even have a bed. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He says, but you can sleep downtown and, ride with us. So they're really popular. But I can tell you that there are some snowmobile tour groups up there that take people out. And they do kind of ride the same area. So the thing with the Adventure Chick Chalk guys is that they're very good riders and they want to push your skill level. So they're known to put you in some pretty uncomfortable situations. So at the end of the day, for them to ride somebody's snowmobile out of a spot is not uncommon because people definitely get over their skis. So yeah, I can take you up there and you can ride out through and see these areas that are all beat to crap. And then all of a sudden you pitch down over this knoll that's 60 degrees and you've got 1,000 acres of untouched, but it's probably some of the most technical riding you'll find. And that's why we go, because the adrenaline of dropping into those holes is just like sane people don't do this. We're having T-shirts made up that says "Real men drop in after 2," because to drop into one of these places after 2:00 is like a questionable decision because coming up out of there at dark, and it's been many occasions where we've had to actually ride other people's snowmobiles out of these spots, and they walk up out, and then that's how you end the day. But
The only thing I heard there is that you're having T-shirts made, but you won't do anything for Big Woods Bucks. He doesn't get Big Woods Bucks T-shirts made.
I'm
He's
here.
doing it for a stupid snowmobile trip.
I'm here.
And he's got the nerve to want to negotiate a contract.
I know. This guy won't go to the Sportsman Show.
There was a day when I never missed one. There was 4 or 5 years I never missed a show. Remember the first time? So this is a little history lesson for Joe. What year was the moose drawing in Rangeley?
That was the only one I missed, and I can't remember why, but that was the year before Greenville, wasn't it?
It was like 2010.
No,
Probably
it was before
10.
that, because Greenville was next, and that was 13 when I got drawn.
I thought I was living in Rangeley then. Maybe not.
was 2012.
Oh, okay, 2012. Yep.
Yeah.
So the moose drawing was 2012, and so we had been to a bunch of shows, and I was pretty good at selling hats and T-shirts. So I said we were selling a gun then. Mm-hmm. So I said to Chris, I need a little bit of money. I'm going to rent a tent and set it up on Main Street in Rangeley. I need a gun. I need a bunch of stuff. And he fought me a little bit on it because he thought I was absolutely crazy.
Still does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because you know why? Because you mentioned that you needed a little money.
That usually makes Chris
Yeah.
put his hackles up.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Especially when it involves Lee.
Yeah,
spending.
absolutely. Anyways, I think we made $4,000 that day. And it was one day I was set up on Main Street in Aquasic and Raisley in a tent. And there's probably some listeners out there that remember that. But it was all done up nice, and we had a really good day. So there was we used to go. You guys, I remember sleeping in a bed in a hotel room in Essex, Vermont with Lee Shands because they wouldn't give us two hotel rooms. They'd shove 6 of us in one and make us buddy up.
Yeah. Times have changed, though.
Yeah. You requested that, Lee. Don't lie.
Yeah, those were the days of on a budget. When you said, let's go out to eat, Chris would say, now, how many drinks are you going to have, Lee?
We've come beyond that, Lee. You'll find out we're beyond that now.
Oh, shit. Those were fun days. I never missed a show. I remember driving home from Essex, Vermont in a blizzard one night, and that old Ford pickup truck I had, I didn't know if I was going to make it, but we made it anyways. But
Yeah.
it was a few years I never missed one, but I have been pretty liberal on the last couple of years.
You heard that, folks. Lee's liberal.
Yeah.
No politics.
Those were the
No
days
politics.
whenever we come up short, Chris would call me up and say, you got to pony up.
Yeah.
Me and him would pony up some money for the fund to keep the company floating. We did that for years and years. And
You know, I saw a good story on 207 last night. What's her name? Toll. The gal that came up with that salsa named Plucked.
never heard of it.
Yeah, they're a main company. Her and her business partner or husband, I can't remember the whole story now, but both of them lost their houses when they first started the company, and they kept going.
Yeah.
And
That takes balls.
yeah, they kept going, and then her parents stepped in and said, we'll help you for 6 months. And if you can't get it straightened out in 6 months, you got a family to take care of. You got to get a job, go back to work. So, and now Hannaford's has picked her up, and I think Whole Foods has picked her up, and now they're doing really well, you know.
Good.
And now she's the radio host on, what is it, 93.1 FM in the morning out of Portland now. She started 2 weeks ago, yeah.
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 I don't get
Funny
a
gal.
radio station, so
Yeah. You don't watch Channel 6 News in the morning?
no,
No.
I don't get that.
Oh, you don't?
I got satellite TV, Bub.
Well,
Yeah,
I
you get
do
local
too, but-
channels.
I can get Channel 5 in Bangor. I know that.
You should get a
get
couple
six,
local channels. 3 anyway. The big 3.
But anyways, yeah, she's on there. But no, that was a good story. So you talk about small businesses, and I remember Kevin Harrison used to say that 2 out of 3 small businesses fail twice before they succeed, and I used to think I ain't failing nothing. I'm gonna tough it out. and go.
I think the number is 4 out of 5 fail in the first 5 years,
Really?
and that's mostly because people don't push beyond 5. They throw in the towel.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So the key, really, most of the key to that success, I think, would lie in just keep going. You know what I mean?
Persistence is always it.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
keep on charging.
Just keep going.
When
I mean, as long as the bills are paid, and what do you got to give up on? Just keep going.
Well, yeah, and I think when we first started Big Woods here, the problem was we made the only money we made was in selling a book or a DVD, and that comes in slow,
Yeah.
And
Goes
then
out fast.
Yeah, and then you find you still have bills associated with the business between maintaining a building, maintaining a website, and insurances, and just whatever else it is, phones, and so that was it. But we just kept going along, and then quite frankly, both of us, when we first started, so I was running my outfitting business. I didn't have a lot of extra time to do things that could have probably moved it along quicker, you know what I mean? But I had to do it when I could, So, but anyways.
It's been what?
Yeah.
I've been here 2006, 14 years? No, 13 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's
14.
we started with the idea of just Chris grabbed a camera, we bought a camera, started following me around, guiding and hunting, and that's kind of to try to bring that to people, you know. And again, back then, the cameras were different, media was different. You know, people got things different ways. Back then, it was buying a DVD, right? You put it on a DVD and tried to sell them, and yeah, you sell a DVD one at a time, you know, maybe a few at a show, and you know the money don't come in very fast doing that, you know.
No, this is our 10th winter at the lodge. I can't believe how fast it's gone by. You know. Yeah. I remember getting started, and you know, you think, 10 years, you know, that's a ways, but it goes quick. And I was always told, you know, the first 3 years are the critical ones. You got to struggle for the first 3, and then you kind of get established, and people, if you do it right, people get to know you and gets better.
And it's hard. All of us up here are season-based companies in a sense, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we count on a lot of tourists to buy our products, and we count on a lot of second homeowners for our income, and so that's tough. If they're having a bad year, we're having a bad year, you know, in a sense.
Yeah, we've had a good economy through that time too, so that helps.
But the one thing up here is that I think there's always a constant. There's always going to be that local income, and I've always tried to base my living off on what I could make locally, and that way it took the hurt out of some of the valleys that you experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can remember growing up, my first marriage and second marriage and
third
probably on my third
marriage.
Is we usually try to base our bills on one person's income. You know what I mean? Like our bills don't exceed my wife's income.
That's amazing.
Bills.
You get that many women to agree to that philosophy.
And then all my money is mine. But if I think you can structure it like that, then, you know, it's kind of, you go without a lot of things, but, you know.
Yep. Building a business is fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't think it is. Sometimes you want to throw your hands up and what am I doing? But it's the challenge of it. And then once you do create it, it's seeing all the happy faces and people that enjoy what you're doing.
Did I already say that we're looking for employees?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we opened the show with that.
I knew I'd get back around to that.
Yeah. Would you say you were paying minimum wage?
Yeah, minimum wage. I'll pay you to interview. I'll pay you to drive up and interview. That ain't no shit.
Yeah.
I'll buy you lunch.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll pay you to come to Rangeley, and then
take you down to Sarge's.
Oh, I'll get you lick it up. And then you'll sign a contract. Yeah. Well, it'll be fun.
For all you line cooks out there, I'll do the same thing. That's a great idea. I'll pay for your gas, come up.
Your gas.
Yeah.
I think
good people needed.
Yeah, I think one of my employees said there's nothing in Rangeley that would make me move here, and I says, well, what do you got where you are? And they said, well, there's a Walmart right down the street. I says, well, if that's the most important thing, then you should stay where you are.
Yeah. Hey, Hal here. Just want to take a minute to talk about the hunting club. And you can join by going right online at bigwoodsbucks.com. But anyways, I've got all my information is going in there. And it's a place where you can get together and look at my films, tips, writings, and all of that. And the best part is forums for you to communicate with, you know, the rest of the club members, talk about big wood stuff and all of that. So anyways, $36 a year, cheaper than getting a Starbucks once a day. So join up and hope you see you're on there.
Hey guys, Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a 4-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And, of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com. You know, in fact, I'll even put out there that we have a job opening for a cook for the November hunting. So here's the deal. You come up here, you cook for the month of November. Let me turn the phone off here. You cook for the month of November. You get to hunt during the day. You're doing breakfast and and dinners at night, right, Hal?
Making sandwiches.
Yeah. So then you get a couple weeks off in between. Of course, all your lodging is taken care of. We'll put you up right here. You get to hunt black powder if you haven't got your deer yet. And then you go to work at the lodge and stay here for the winter. Who can pass that up?
We'll put you on a podcast at the end, and you can tell all your stories about what jerks we were in the morning before we got our coffee. What happens when you're late with coffee in moose camp? Well, true story. I don't want to kill the guy and gal that's out there thinking about applying for this job, but I've seen Hal make them cry.
Well, I don't make them cry, okay? I'm a lot easier to work for. Hal is difficult. I mean, as hard as they come, you know?
Oh.
And, here at Lake Parlin Lodge, we value our employees. You're part of the team.
Yeah, we were at Moose Camp. We were at Moose Camp one year, and we had this gal cooking for us. Nice gal. And, she got crying. She was standing, no exaggeration. I walked into that tent in the morning to give her a hand with breakfast. It was Thursday morning.
Sure, give her a hand with breakfast. Go ahead.
The wind is blowing the water right through every crack in the tent, and she's standing in a set of
Listen
Crocs.
to the words he's using, blowing, crack.
Yeah. She was standing in a pair of flip-flops or Crocs or whatever they're called, and the mud is squeezing right up through her toes.
It's probably about 40 degrees, huh?
Yeah, and she's standing over a 24-inch cast iron frying pan, bawling her eyes out, and I put my arm around her. I says, "It'll be okay." And she looked up at me and said, "Please make it end. Please make it end." I said,
So if you want to book a hunt.
yeah, so if you want to come cook, don't wear Crocs.
I don't think.
That's the moral of the story.
Well, I don't think I hired that cook, though.
You didn't hire that cook.
Okay.
She just happened to meet you.
Yeah. She got hired by somebody else,
Yeah.
but that's all right. But
It worked out.
How was her cooking?
The cooking was good. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't eat vegetables, so if you're coming to work here, you want to know that right up
Oh,
front.
Widow Wee doesn't
I
eat
don't eat
vegetables.
oh, you eat corn though.
Corn and potatoes. Yeah.
You don't eat green vegetable. Anything green, Lee
No,
doesn't eat.
No.
No wonder you're such a mess.
Well, it grows in poop.
So is corn, but it's just a little farther away from
It's
it.
taller, yeah.
Yeah.
And the potatoes are down under it. So
Yeah.
it was just that poop level there that.
Did someone tell you that when you were 4 years
No,
old?
I made that up.
Oh, okay.
I eat the things that make the poop.
We degenerated.
Yeah.
This
Lee, I don't think I was that hard on employees, was I?
No, you were good, but I got called to the principal's office a few times.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
probably deserved it.
I've made a few cooks cry.
Hal
Yeah.
gets cranky when he's tired.
Well, we all
I saw
get
it this year.
cranky. Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, cranky, hard to be around. Just difficult.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He yelled at one of the clients this year.
That's not uncommon, though.
He did not.
I just made it up.
It's not uncommon to yell at a client. Oh, you guys don't yell at clients?
I've changed. I've grown. I've grown in my age. I ever tell you about back when I was lobster and I was in my 20s, early 30s? I went through 11 helpers one summer, and that's a 4 or 5 month season.
Yeah, that's because I don't know this by experience, but I hear there's a lot of drug addicts down on the coast doing
No,
those jobs.
that was none of the
before.
problem. That wasn't the problem. They couldn't keep up my pace, is I guess the most of it.
Yeah,
They-
I could see that.
A couple of them went a couple days, and they go, They didn't say I'm done. They usually just wouldn't show up anymore, and I knew that meant they were done. So I might give them start over and get someone else, and then I ended up the last one that made it. See, some of the 11 were actually some buddies come down to bail me out. I actually hauled quite a few days myself when I didn't have anybody. I'd get on the boat and go, and at the time, I don't know if I was hauling. I think at that time I was hauling 500 a day, and I couldn't haul 500 I couldn't do 500 a day, but I could haul 400 a day on 10 trap trawls by myself. Whew, it was long, especially trying to cut and tie and get out from under people. But then I ended up with it was actually Deb's cousin, and he was known to tip a few, and he was the best helper I had the whole year.
No kidding.
But I had to get him out of bed every morning. Or I had his father. I'd pull up, and sometimes he'd come out. Sometimes he'd be awake and come out. But most of the time, I go bang on the door, and his father would come. I go, ain't up, Charlie? He goes, no, I'll go get him up. So he come out the door. As soon as he got on the boat, he was fine. Went all day, never had no problem with him. But just had a little drinking problem, that's all.
Yeah, we run into the same thing with line cooks. There's usually, unfortunately, in that industry, substance abuse of some sort.
Yeah,
that's prevalent. And, it can be a stressful job, I guess, because of the pace, but it's not difficult. You know.
Well, being a lobster stern man was difficult.
Oh, I know it's a lot worse than a line cook position.
Yeah, and I never thought, and I just figured everybody ought to go my pace. That's just the way I always operated. And really, quite frankly, it wasn't that I was just trying to do it to pressure people or to hurt them, but I'd look at, when I get down on the boat in the morning, I'd look at the tide, and I'd look at the weather, the wind and stuff.
Yep.
And I planned my day around that. So in other words, if I was I had an eastern gang and a western gang of traps, and I had the tide would run up through the gullies. It runs harder, and you don't want to haul when the tide's running hard because you can't get them set back where you want them. If somebody gets over you, it creates messes. So you try to haul those places more in the slack tides, the worst of the gullies, the deeper water. So that was really the reason. So I had to go a certain pace to get, so I would end up in those places at that time. So, but other times it didn't matter, and I didn't wail along that much. But if we had to get there, I just slammed the traps aboard, fast as I could get them aboard and get them set back out. So that's the way it was.
I would have liked to have been around back then.
I'd
tried my hand there with you. Yeah. I'd enjoyed that. I mean, just the experience of it. I always hear about lobster, and I've never done it.
It was actually quite fun in a way. I mean, it was hard work, but you're out on the water, just you and your helper or whatever, and got the tunes going and just doing your thing, hauling along, and there's a lot to it, between where to set your traps and all that to fish and stuff. I actually lobstering, I related that to my father-in-law. I learned from him, and I went with him for a couple of years before I went on my own. And then when I equated it to deer hunting. I ain't kidding you. It was fishing, but I didn't look at it as fishing. I looked at it as I'm hunting for lobsters.
Yeah.
And the bottom of the ocean is just like land. It's got gullies and ridges and holes and cracks, and it's the same features as on land. It's just covered by water, and the only difference is you can't see it other than by using your fathometer. Now, nowadays, they got this sonar stuff. You can see the border the bottom like on a color TV on your computer screen. We didn't have any of that back then. I had a digital fathometer that I could set in fathoms of feet, so a fathom 6 feet. But I left it on feet because it's more accurate. Because if you read 10 fathom or 11 fathom, well, is it 60 feet or is it 62 feet or is it 66 feet? You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that had a lot of difference, especially out. If you're fishing on the mud, like there's certain places the further up the bay you get, and even down the bay, you get these flat areas, and it's all kind of a mud bottom. And it might be, say if it's 5 fathom mud, so it's 30 feet almost everywhere. It's just flat. Be like being out on a field,
Mm-hmm.
And then in that field, maybe there's a ditch in that field that's like a drainage ditch or something. Be the exact same thing, and maybe that ditch is 2 or 3 feet deeper than the rest of the field. And that's exactly what happens is when the tide flows across that field, what's happening on the bottom is it's rolling all the junk along the bottom, right? Pieces of kelp or seaweed or anything that's rolling with the tide, it rolls along, and where does it go? It ends up in the ditch, right? So it falls in the ditch, and then it can't get out because it's lower. Well, that's lobster feed and cover right there. So if you could read it in feet, and I was the only one I knew of that had one of those fathometers. I mean, most people just kept it on fathoms. If I could see it drop from 30 feet to 33 feet, that crack might only be 10 feet wide or 20 feet wide, not very wide. You would catch twice to 3 times as many lobsters in that crack as you would on the flat mud. You see the importance of that?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So that's the same.
Same as trout fishing, right?
Yeah.
In the lake.
So you could relate it to if you were hunting deer. So you're walking up through the hardwoods, endless hardwoods. You probably ain't going to see a big old buck, you know. I mean, you might, but the odds are pretty slim, you know. But if you hunt down along the edges where there's maybe some brown ash grows, or down with the edge of the green and the hardwood meet, if that's where you hunt, you got a better chance of seeing a buck, and that's where you're going to find the buck sign, you know. Yeah. So I always related it to that. So I was hunting for lobsters. So most of the guys I called them trap haulers. They just haul their traps and set them back in the same spot and keep going.
I hope them lobstermen don't take offense to this.
No, they won't. They know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it was like anyways. But
yeah, I always used to, when I was dolphin fishing, when I was back in Florida, it was the same thing. I always looked at it like hunting. That's why I liked it. You know, you were running and gunning. You were always looking for weed lines or pallets floating in the water or whatever, you know, looking for birds. It was more like hunting to me, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much.
It's like back when I used to dragon slay back there in the early 1200 BC there.
You know, we got a lot of emails when you were gone.
I'd go
Lee,
right
saying,
in caves and get them buggers.
We like the show better without Lee. Don't have him back. And so, you know, I'm starting to think maybe that's a good idea.
Wow.
So
if that's true, which I don't know if it is, it could be.
No one likes you, Lee. They told me.
Listen. Hey, listen, I am me. I know.
So in wrapping up here, we're getting close. We wanted to also point out that the Hunt Club membership link is all up and running 100% now, because we understand there's been a lot of issues, and you know, I know people get frustrated because they're trying to buy things or become part of the Hunt Club, and we understand that. We appreciate it. It's understand that everyone that's doing this is for lack of a better term, a side gig for us, and it's important to us, and we're doing it, but we also have other stuff going on, so we are working hard at it, and Chris is. You know, he's like a number one real estate agent down there in this area, so he's busy doing that. And
got his big award there the other day.
Nice.
So we appreciate everything, and we are working hard trying to catch up and fix everything, which Chris has done, I believe.
Yeah, well, we figured out the problem finally, because what happened was it wasn't always the same reason people couldn't join, and Chris had to go actually do it, you know, for people, you know, just get them set up on it manually, which is kind of a pain for him. But what happened was it was like almost a double whammy. Part of it was the credit card system we had to take the cards, because a lot of times that was the blockage. People would go to put their card in, and that's where it dead-ended for them. And so anyways, he's got a new credit card merchant account, I guess they call those. So we got a new one of them. That's all hooked to the website. He's been working with the website guys to fix the other issue there. So he's had a couple people try it, and so far I think it's going to be fine. So we apologize to any of you that's tried, and maybe some of you just gave up. I had people email me, said I've tried 5 or 6 times. Well, that's really unacceptable, really, when somebody's trying to do something, and 5 or 6 times. I don't blame them for being discouraged, but anyways, so if you're interested in it, get on there and give it a try. And I just sent a bunch of footage to Jason to make like some more of my one-day hunts and stuff. He's going to fix them up and get those on there, and so we'll keep on plugging with it.
Come out to the Sportsman Show. We're going to be there in 2 weeks. We'll all be there, minus one not so. He's over here laughing. I got a feeling Lee's going to be in the Chick Chalks. So
I'll send you.
Once again, we'll all put work ahead of play and do what we got to do.
Yeah.
So
You know what I do use a lot though, snowmobiling, is that Onyx Hunt.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I use it all the time. Really,
It is a great. It's not just for hunting. You're right.
and
It's a
people
great tool.
know when they get that, if they use that Big Woods Bucks promo code, right, then they save.
Yeah, that's on the, if they buy the state one, if you get different states, you save 20% on that. And the other one, you download the app on your phone. That's a different deal. That's not the 20% deal. I think isn't that free anyways to download that app? No. I think you get a different membership on it or something, a premium one. But doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a great deal. I use it all the time now. I use it on my snowmobile now as much as anything,
Yeah.
The other day when I was telling you about winding her down through them old truck roads, I could actually see on aerial stuff, I could see those roads because you can see where there's like a line in the trees where the trees grew up differently on them roads. I could see it. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'd stop, and then, when I'd get to an intersection, some of them places I hadn't been to in, like I said, 25, 30 years, and there'd be a fork in the road or a turn, and I'd get the Onyx out, and I could see it. I could see which way to go to get where I wanted to be, so it was pretty cool.
Cool.
Yep. So if you haven't already, like us on Facebook, check us out on YouTube, and remember, subscribe on the YouTube, and then hit for notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever something new comes up, which we're trying to add to that all the time. Follow us on Instagram, all that good stuff. And also another big thing is if you're on iTunes, only if you like what you hear, give us a review. If you don't like it, we don't want to hear your opinion. Don't give us a bad rating. We want to hear your opinion. Just don't give us a bad rating.
Right.
Anyway, well,
and I was going to mention on the hunting club too, if there's anything you'd like to see on there, improvements or something else you'd like to see, just email me and let me know.
Yeah.
We'll try to get it done.
I want to give a shout out real quick to my boys over in Vermont there. Some of the woodchucks dropped off some elk steaks in Rangeley last week, and
nice.
We lugged them into my camp and cooked them up, and they were delicious. So
all right.
Thanks for the elk steaks, boys.
Yeah.
So you brought some with you to give to us?
No.
No, yeah. Let's see.
No, I got to give a shout out to John Fennelson. He's from Maine, but he's working out in Wyoming now. He's I haven't got him yet. I haven't been to the post office yet, but he said he sent some jerky that he makes himself out of deer and antelope and whatever. And he just sent us a little more and some hats of his business. He's got a gun business he started out there. Bear Lodge, I think it's called, or something. I should know, but you can find him on Facebook and stuff. Anyway, that's about a wrap for now. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.